Hello, family. Welcome to Motherland Shift program, where we discussed our move as we're moving actually from the kind of a 3D dimension into the 5D, moving from what used to bound us here to on Earth. It used to bind us, but now we're moving into a different direction. And for our first series, we will start actually, the first series of videos will be entitled Paradigm Shift to Freedom. There's a need for a paradigm shift to freedom so that we can actually move into what we're aiming, to what we want. This time is really crucial, regardless of the news that's going, especially myself and my mother's health. But I was actually waking up at 3 a.m. in the morning to start this. I said, do I have to do it now? And I felt, yeah, it's now that you have to do this. So I'm doing this video in mind with all of your family in around the world, the UK, US, Africa, Asia, wherever you are. Welcome to Motherland Shift. This is the death. What you're experiencing right now around the world is the death of the old you as you used to be, as you used to exist. That's the end of it. The pain you are experiencing mentally, emotionally, is translated into the physical now. For some of you, is the fact that you don't want to give away or trade the old you that is already dying for the new you that is necessary for you in order for you to enter, to experience the future, the better future that is waiting in front of you. That's the only way you can suffer at the moment, is when you do not want to give up on the old you that is dying anyway. All right? Trade the old you. Trade it. This is the end of the time. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying the end of the world. I'm saying this is the end of the time. There's a big difference there. The big difference is that the time means a season, a period, an era. The world it will always be here, right? It means basically it's the time of revelation. I'll say it again, revelation. Your fear is based on the fact that you are looking at what's going to happen, the things that you have amazed, the things that you have gathered, the things that you put together all these years, and you thinking about these things, I'm going to lose all this after working so hard for it, after doing all this work, all these years, and I'm going to lose this. That's the fear in your life at the moment. But let me tell you something, because the old you will not exist anymore, whether you like it or not, because that's the law of the universe, that's how it works. You are not going to keep these things. You got to trade everything. If your life is not, even the old life is not there, how on earth you think you're going to enjoy the new life, the new you? You can't enjoy the new you with all this stuff you're trying to drag, the things that is causing you to make certain decisions that are not producing life. The fear of losing things is making you take decision that is basically destroying your future and has already destroyed for some of us. All right? Now, for you, because you have created a comfort zone, but in prison. You created a comfort zone, but in a prison. Yeah, I have to really push on that one because it's very important. You know, when you create a comfort zone, but in prison, you don't manage anything. You don't control anything. You are managed. Somebody else managed you. Even though you are in your comfort zone, but is in prison where you are managed. If you are managed, guess what? The things that belongs to you are also managed. So you have a situation where you have to choose whether you want to stay in prison and be managed, or you want to come out of prison and self-manage yourself. It's very, very important to have control. You see, with time, when you stay in prison for a long time, this is what's happening. Many of us, all of us have been there in that prison. Our ancestors have been there. Our great-grandfathers and etc., great-grandfathers and our parents, ourselves, and we don't want our children to go into that prison. We don't want them to live in that prison. Not at all. So what do? We have to come out of, we have to fight for it. Now, I wanted to say that when you stay for long time in prison, you have an illusion of being in control. Because you already know the time they're going to blow the whistle for you to go out, for you to eat, for you to do this and that. You think you're in control. You're not in control. You're still in prison and you have no control. You are managed. The only control you have is about choosing the best thing that will enslave you next. I'll say this again. The only choice you have or control you have is to choose the next thing that will enslave you next. You're coming out of something, but you are getting something that will enslave you next. That's the freedom you have in prison, or the control you have in prison. You got to know that. Know that there is no way you can fight what's taking place in the universe. What the universe is doing right now, you cannot fight it. Even if you try, you won't win. Nobody's going to win this. Everybody that wants to get into the new the future that we look in, the new life, has to give up. Trade your old one. Many have been actually put up in sleep, regardless of the door being open or being banged many times every day. You have chosen so far to fight protecting materials that you have gathered, but not possessed. I'll just say this again. The materials that you have gathered, but not possessed. All these years, you have not possessed anything. You've been gathering. That's creating frustration. A lot of frustrations is creating pain and confusion. That fear of losing what you have acquired dictates whether your future will be based on dead stuff, illusion, or accept what the universe is doing right now. And that has a little to do with the actual crisis you see around the world at the moment that is causing so many to be frustrated, to lose their lives, and etc. This is the end of ignorance. I said to you that the end of time means revelation, which means the time of what? Of end of ignorance. Taking us into the place of knowledge, the death of the world as you know it. And everything that belongs to that matrix is gone. Whether you like it or not, it's not there. What you see is the illusion that's still in your mind. This new world we're entering will be only commended, will be only working by love, righteousness, justice, tolerance, universal consciousness, that we are all together, that we are consciously connected. All of us are connected. That's what's taking place. From now on, when you talk or think about God, This is what you have to see. As far as I can see, when you talk about God, think about a unified state that works by the law. A unified state that works by the law. You are in charge of your life. You must self-manage your life and not others. Not other people. Not any institution, the government and the charity down the road, the group, the clique of people that you have been with for years and nothing has improved so far. And you keep on that group and they are the best friend in your life. I'm not saying here you should separate with your friend. All I'm trying to say is that you should self-manage yourself, even within that clique, even within the government guidelines and etc. You should self-manage yourself. Self-management is the issue here. When we're talking on the paradigm shift to freedom, think about shifting responsibility from other people, from the government, from other institutions, from the clique, a group of friends or your family, into yourself. Self-manage yourself and not other people. We are going back to the original plan of higher energy that you call God, that higher energy. Through it, everything you see evolved. Friends, family of motherland shift. Prison is not freedom. Being in prison is not being free. Because when you possess nothing, but everything you gather, other people have the right, other people are the one who can actually say, give it back to us, or it belongs to us. You are basically, or you possess nothing. That's what we're seeing at the moment. It's going, but people think they're still free. And I'll give you a difference between being free and being in prison. What prison means. And through these few words that I'm going to definition, if you can call it definitions, you will see whether you are in prison or not. In prison, first of all, you are managed. Look at your life. Do you manage many things? No. They tell you when to go to work. They tell you what to do. They tell you when to pay the car you possess. You think you possess, no, the car you have, the house you have. It goes beyond that, even the TV, microwave, fridge, freezer. They manage you. They tell you the debt you have to pay that. They give you the terms and conditions. They tell you when, if you don't pay, this is what will happen. You are not managed. You are managed. Because you're in prison. In prison, things are free. That's what you think for some people, I'm on benefit. They pay the house for me. They pay the council tax for me. They pay this for me. You are in prison. In prison, you don't have bills to pay. TV is free. Sky News, CNN, and all these channels that you can watch. All the mainstream media or entertainment channels. They paid for you. You want to watch football, soccer? You just go to the main room. When they let you out, and they know sometimes they have to let you out just to go in and be entertained, but it's paid. So in other words, you have no responsibilities. Most of you, what happened, every time something happened to your life, you blame others. You blame the system. You blame your employer. You blame your husband or your wife, your children. Why? Because you have no responsibilities. No sense of responsibilities whatsoever. But what is freedom? Freedom demands or requires that you self-manage yourself. Freedom means you decide when you're going to wake up, when you want to eat, what you want to do, when you want to pay it, what sort of things you want. I am not saying liberty. I'm saying freedom. Because in the future, within this series, I am going to talk about the difference between freedom and liberty. Because many people confuse those two things. You have to know, I don't want to touch it because if I touch it, I'll develop it. Because the freedom really, I'm tempted to say this, that freedom really is a mental state before it becomes a physical statement. I'll stop there. Now, in the freedom, you pay your bills and things are not free. You are responsible for your life. You self-manage yourself in freedom. The old matrix catered for you to live in prison with the illusion of being free. That's what it has been doing, especially in the Western world. People are in prison with the illusion that they are free when they're not. That's confusing between freedom and liberty. As I said, people are now confused between freedom and liberty. They don't know what's liberty, what's freedom. Remember, this series you are watching right now, wherever you are, depending on the time you actually happen to watch this, is to help us move from old dimension to the new dimension. Vibrating with a higher energy for a better life or better future. We are not here to condemn or to confuse people. Especially, we're not here to condemn. Because condemning will lower our vibration. And I don't want to work, I don't operate in a low vibration. Low vibration should be when you're watching all this junk that people watch on Netflix and then all these kind of things, that the junk you fill yourself with, that's what, all these materials, that's what brings a low vibration. Not this one. This brings a positive and a high vibration because it sets you free from your mind. All right? Our talk must stay positive but true. True to the new matrix. That's the new matrix we're watching now. This new matrix has to change and move us from where we are into the new dimension. Higher vibration. Positive vibration. If you hear bad news from your TV, for those who are functioning by that box, you should know this. God, by the law, is what we are entering now. It's called free will. God, by the law, is what we are entering right now. It's called free will. Turn back against information trying to hold you back from the new matrix. Turn back from it. All this information that you know, that is trying actually to take you to that place where you are no longer able to enter the new matrix. Turn back from it. Push it one side. Leave it there. Leave it away. You don't need that. Because we are entering a new matrix. Your Savior is not out there. I'll say this again. Your Savior is not out there. You are your Savior. Religious people now. Oh, what is he trying to say now? You say God does not exist. That's your problem. That's your problem. You're always in the old matrix. You're always in your mind that wants something. Sometimes, every time a positive thing is said, you always go back and dig in the past what that means. No, listen. Move to the now. I'll say this again. Your Savior is not out there. You are your Savior. And you will understand that in a minute. When I'll give you the law that governs the universe. Yeah? But how do I do that, brother? How do I move from this, where I am, to the new matrix? How do I move to the high vibration from the low? Now, removing yourself, or your mind, I should say, it's your mind that is you, because as a man thinks so easy, it's your mind that is you, really. How do I remove myself from, or remove my mind from the hands of those I have given my power? Exactly. The thing that will make you, the very thing that will make you get out of that matrix, the old one, is to take power back from the people you have given that power. Yeah? It could be stuff, not just people. The stuff that you have given the power. Things in your life. Each one of us is not God. But God is each one of us. You got the answer? When I said that you are your Savior? Each one of us is not God. But God is each one of us. Got it? You are the representative of God. That sounds good, isn't it? Therefore, you should not live in the property of something that controls you. You should not live in the properties of something that controls you. If a system controls you and you live in their properties, they fix the terms because it's their properties. If you belong to the old matrix, the system that we used to live in, they fixed the terms. That's why they can say to you, if you don't take this, you won't have no job. If you don't do this, you have no jobs. Why? Because you have given them power. You have given them control. Power over your life. Control. Are you saying you never give? Say, people sometimes they call us, they label us, they say that they are rebels. We know rebels. We are the people that understood that you must be free and it do not belongs to the system. I heard so many people repeating, especially Christians, that says we are in the world, but we're not of this world. What world means? First of all, what that mean? That means when you say we are not of the world, be careful with words. I am very careful when I use words. You're not saying that you are not of this planet, Earth. You're saying world. The world is a system. That's all he's saying. He's not saying you're not of this planet. He's not saying that you are in the planet, but you're not of this planet. That's not what he's saying. He's saying you are in this world where there is this planet, Earth, but you don't belong to the system, which is the world. That's why you say, oh, this is the world system. We say the Western system, the African system. We say what we call the Middle East system. We call it systems. Yeah? Or we call the Western world, the Western Asian world, African world. Even in life, we say, oh, look at this guy, is his own world. This lady, she's in her own world. It's a system. All right? Therefore, you should not live in a property of something that controls you. As I said, if you are in somebody's properties, then they can decide to use that property whenever they want. They might say to you, this property, you will use it Monday to Friday, but Saturday and Sunday, it belongs to me because I have to do certain things here. So Saturday and Sunday belongs to the owner of that property, of the system. That's what's happening. And you want to steal in that? You want to carry on walking in that system? Gathering the stuff that you know you don't possess? Oh, it brings joy. It brings joy. No. Well, it brings happiness. It doesn't bring happiness. Because you don't know what happiness is. That's why you say that. If you knew that happiness is an internal thing and not external thing, then because you are confused, the thing happiness is by external stuff, by acquiring external stuff. That's why today you up, tomorrow you down. Because when the thing that gave you supposedly happiness yesterday is no longer available today, you become sad. Don't look behind because there are things that are not good in the past. Stop looking behind all the time. You're separated from something, for somebody, from a thing. You always want to talk in the past. Every time hardship comes, you begin to look, oh, in the past it used to be this. She used to be there for me when I'm in this time, when I'm in this situation. She used to cater for me. She's no longer here now, or he is no longer here. And that's why many of you go back to the people you have no business being with. You go back to your previous relationship just because you look back and do not want to create a new future, a better future for you. And that's the problem. Because of stuff, you don't want to lose stuff. You will rather go back and eat the things that you've thrown out just to save the stuff, materials, than fighting for a new future when you have control. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't look in the past. Every time you look in the past, all you're doing, you're inviting the old, most of the time, bad energy to come back in your life. That's what you're doing. And you will understand this more as we're moving in, and I'll be talking about the laws of the universe that govern the universe. In order to break free from the old matrix, we need some knowledge. And that knowledge will come basically from the laws that govern the universe. Once you understand the law that governs the universe, it works for you. You see, every time you have a problem when you buy a microwave, for example, a Wi-Fi device, a TV, you don't go out and begin to cry. What do? If that TV is not working, you go back to the manufacturer book. We call it notice. That handbook is in a box. And it tells you from the head or the mind of the manufacturer how to operate that machine. Same with your life. There are laws of the universe that govern the way you are supposed to live here on earth. But what do? Most of the time we go and check our friends. And the friends we check in stuff with, they are the ones that have failed. And they have nothing good to offer us. And we run back to them. Why? Because they feel sorry for us. They're the one who say, I understand what you're going through. That fool in your life, oh, you see what he's doing. A fool, he doesn't appreciate you. No. If there is a fool, is that friend of yours? Most of the time, the people that we go back asking for advice are the people who themselves are full of hatred, jealousy, low self-esteem, and etc. Remember, we're not condemning here. We're putting things in the right perspective so that we will understand how to come out of this old matrix. Paradigm shift to freedom. Yeah? Always go back. Go and search for people who can tell you the truth, have the knowledge, and that knowledge will set you free. You, not another person. Right? We got to understand these laws that govern the universe. Question: are you those that thinks that things happen randomly, or you think everything is already planned? Are you of those, or one of those that think that things either happen in our lives randomly, or they are already planned? There is nothing I can do. That's how God planned it. Are you one of them? You got to know this. It's very important what I'm trying to share right now. Very important. You should know that everything you see or experience, or your destiny, are generated by some laws. I'll say this again. Everything you experience, or your destiny, are generated by some laws. Well, you heard about the law of karma, the law of attraction, or divine unification, which is a law that stabilizes your life in harmony. All these laws, they stabilize your life and bring harmony. Today, I will just share with us a few laws. The first one is the law of divine oneness. Divine oneness, or unicity, will become one. That law says that small causes have bigger consequences in the universe. The things that are small, the cause are small, but they have bigger consequences in the universe. The things you think about, the words you pronounce, the actions, your actions, affect your surroundings and mine. It affects our surroundings. As everything is energy. Everything is energy, and the extension of the principle energy called God. Everything is energy and are the extension of the principle energy that we call God. That's the first law. Remember this. The second law is called the law of vibration. Everything in the universe vibrates and move according to a circular mode. It circulates. I've been here before. I've seen this before in my life. Yeah. Everything, or every thought, sound, or an image has a frequency. It has its own frequency. Every sound you listen to, the music you listen to, in the movies, when it comes to a movie, when there are certain things that you call sexy, they put a certain music to put you in a certain frequency. When it comes to somebody that is actually lost, they put a certain music to put you into that mode. If it comes to a place where somebody wants to kill another person, there is a certain music. If it comes to someone wants to succeed in something, a different music, because every sound has its own frequency. The thought that you have, they have frequencies. When you begin to think about something negative, it takes you to a certain frequency. It has its own frequency to change everything around you. If you're thinking positive, it has its own frequency. Images that you watch, you look at, or video, when you're watching certain videos, they have their own frequency. You might be sitting there, you're not feeling like doing something, but because you watch a certain movie, you start feeling like doing that very thing. Even if it's wrong, you end up doing it. Oh, the way they were, both of them were, before you know, you're going to do that. Images you watch sometimes, you look at certain images and you want to replicate because they have a frequency. They have a certain energy. And every frequency can be measured. That's why we talk about different frequencies, because they can be measured. Law number 3 is the law of action. This must be used to manifest all you want here on earth. This third law is the word of action. It must be used, or the purpose of this law is to help you manifest all you want here on earth. That's why you only engage with activities that align with your goals. If an activity doesn't align with your goals, with what you want to achieve, leave that activity. Even if your best friend is doing it, don't do it, because it does not align with your goals. If my goal is one day to get married, if my goal is one day to get a good success relationship, to have a good job, to have a good career, I cannot follow my friends who are wishy-washy, jumping like cats here and there, and I want to manifest a good career in my life. It won't work. That's why I say you might have friends, the people you know, but because something is good for them, it's not necessarily good for you, because you don't have the same goals, unless you tell me you have the same goals as them. So the law of action is very important. If you want to achieve something in your life, you want to manifest something in your life, you must align yourself with actions that will manifest what you want. Only engage with activities that align with your goals. Otherwise, you will stay in the world of dreams and fantasy. You have good goals that you think, good thought, but because your actions does not align to manifest those things, you live in the world of dreams and fantasy. Because choosing to do something is not enough if you don't accompany it with necessary actions. Law number 4, the law of correspondence. Things that exist in the physical have already existed in the spirit, or they first exist in the spirit. And here I also use the mind. If you guard your mind properly, which is the true you guard your mind carefully, you will produce good things in the physical. Somebody internally negative, jealous, always angry, always looking down on other people, reflects that negativity around him or her. And the opposite is also true. Someone or somebody internally positive, with love, righteousness, lifting up other people, being there to help other people, will always reflect that positive energy in his surroundings, the people around him. So often, men and women look for something that they want to change when using physical means. Okay? A man is looking for a woman, a good woman to be with, or a woman to be with a good man. But as soon as they see that man, they want to change that man by using physical means. No, everything starts, according to the law of correspondence, in the spiritual or in the mind before there is a physical manifestation of that. If you begin to think good about that person, you begin to think good about what you want to see in their lives, you begin to think how they will become what you want to see in their lives. Before you know, that thing will manifest. And that's why I said, and we had this discussion with a good friend of mine, and I was saying, don't look for someone to love you. And people are shocked. What? What are you saying, Jez? I said, don't look for someone to love you, but look for someone you will love. I'll say this again. Don't look for someone that will love you. Look for someone you will love. Because once you begin to love, what are you doing? You are manifesting what you want to see, positive. That person will love you. But if you're looking for somebody to love you, you're coming empty-handed. Every time something like that will do something you don't like, what would you do? Because you didn't come looking to love them. You were waiting for them to love you. You will concentrate your energy on the negative side of them. That's what you concentrate on. It doesn't do this to me. It does not give me this. It doesn't. And what do? Because you put all the energy there, it will carry on. It will even be magnified. You won't get what you want from that person, from her, or from him. Because your energy is not to create anything good. It's to create what you don't like. That's where you're putting your energy. Simple. Law number 5. The law of cause and effect, or karma. This law here that I'm sharing with you suggests that nothing happens randomly. Every action is accompanied by a reaction. Nothing will happen randomly. And that can happen, that reaction can be with immediate consequences or a later consequence. It can happen now, the consequences, or later on. You always reap what you sow, and you can't change that law. You will never go and wait at the port to board a ferry or a ship that you never launched in the first place. People will be at the port looking at you. What are you waiting for? I'm waiting for a ship. Did you book for one? No. So why are you waiting here for? You saw some mango trees and you're looking for apples. It doesn't work. You know it. You know it. But you keep on pushing. This law, it will take us into the positive vibration. Law number 6. And because of time, I don't want it to be too long. I'll talk about law number 6 and the rest will follow in the next video. The law of compensation. This law, now I want you to think of this law or principle above because it's very important. The law of cause and effect, it's like the same as the law of cause and effect, but in the positive only. In the positive, the law of compensation. The good you do, the good you do around you will come back to you in a different manner. It will come to you in different manners, if you want plural, or different form. It is at your actions basically will cause something good to come to you. But it won't be in a form as you think of always money. but the compensation will be with better things that pertain to life. The law of compensation. The law of attraction. That's where many people get it wrong, the law of attraction. They don't even understand what it means. And I will say this and I'll stop the video today here. The law of attraction. This is without any shadow of doubt the most common of all laws. By the power of your thought, you attract a certain type of people in your life. Everything you think or you do or you say attracts either positive or negative energies in your life. It is for you to decide in this law of attraction. If you are always negative, you say negative things, you think negative, you do negative stuff, do not think 1 second that you will have good stuff coming into your life. You would attract negative stuff. This reminds me sometimes that people will say, I've been praying for God to give me a woman that will look after me. And the woman shows up. And you turn around, you say, she's not sexy. That's not sexy. Whatever that means. You forget that that sexy woman exists only in your mind. And it's you who should create that sexy woman. Because all this time, what you're concentrating is on what she doesn't have or what you don't like in her. By giving power to what you don't like, what you don't like is magnified, and what you don't like begin to be seen everywhere and every time at any place you are. All you see when you see her is what you don't like. And guess what? Every time what you don't like is magnified, what you like disappears, is removed. I'm not going to develop this right now because every single law I'm just giving you, I will be going through them in different videos, developing every single one of them. So family, where you are, stay blessed. I love you all. Vibrate positive vibration, higher vibration, higher energy, thinking positive, so that you can energize the positive, the things you like, so that it will magnify itself. Once the things you like is magnified, what you don't like disappears. Got it? Bless you. I love you. I love my people. Bye. This was Motherland Shift in a series called Paradigm Shift to Freedom. Bye now.